Actually going to begin today's practice on our back side, so coming all the way down to the earth. Just like I said, just make sure you have that blanket or that rolled up towel. We're going to use that at the very end of the practice. But for now, just come on down to that back side. And you can straighten the legs out, kind of roll the shoulders. Just finding a little bit of movement here, just kind of shifting a little bit side to side. And then finally settling into your space, close the eyes down and just allow the muscles to just relax and be heavy and melt down and feel the support of the earth underneath you. We'll just take a few moments, just feeling that opening of the body and that releasing of our day. Let's begin to layer some breath on top of this lovely, usually our end posture, but for today, our starting posture of our Shavasana. So bring the hands to the belly. Let's just draw in a nice deep inhale. Hold at the top. And an exhale, sigh it out. Inhale into belly. Exhale, sigh it out. Again, inhale. Retain that breath at top for just a breath, for a moment. And exhale, release and let it go. A few more times, nice deep belly breaths. Holding it at the top. And with that exhale, sigh it and release it all out. Sitting with your own breath, no special design to it. Just for a few moments, setting your intention for your practice, letting everything else outside of your mat go. On that next inhale, let's draw the hands above the head, reach and stretch the toes down towards the base of the mat. Reach in two different directions, stretch, 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 stretch. And with a great big exhale, release and let it all go. Bend the knees, place the soles of the feet right underneath the hip points. So just find a few of those pelvic tilts here. So we're not raising the hips up off of the mat just yet. We're just rocking that bottom back and forth a few times, bringing that pelvis up towards the ribs and then shifting down towards the heels. Notice that pelvic tilt back and forth a few more times. Should feel really good in the sacrum to get into that little back release. Our practice today, we're going to focus a lot on that lower back area. And the entirety of the body as well, but this lower back area, especially if you're doing a lot of gardening or a lot of work where you're folding forward, bending forward, that back body can really feel a lot of that tension there. Just a few more times, rocking that pelvis back and forth. And then find neutral spine here. Neutral spine is where we have the sacrum down onto the earth, but we can feel that kind of space, that little curvature of the back. Placing all the weight down into all four corners of the feet. Place palms down and just very slowly peel the hip points up off of the earth, not too high to begin with. And then as low as we came up, lower the bottom back down. Do that a few more times. Keep pressing into the feet as we raise those hip points up and lower back down. Raising up and lowering down. We'll add the arms here by bringing the arms overhead as we bring those hips up and lower that moving bridge down with the hands. Continue to do this with your breath. One more time, raising the hands up, raising those hip points up, and then shower the hands down. Snuggle the shoulders underneath, press into the feet, and peel that hip point back up. Coming a little higher into this bridge. I want you to think about really pressing into the feet and then allowing the legs to stay really strong, not letting the knees knock in or press out. So we're keeping them nice and strong here. No clenching in the lower back, no clenching in the glutes. See if you can raise those hips up a little bit higher. Little confession here, bridge is not one of my favorite postures, but I try to do it often. Keep breathing. And then very, very slowly lower those hip points down onto the earth. Unsnuggle the shoulders and then draw the knees in towards the chest, giving them a squeeze. Let's start to draw circles with the knees in one direction. And then the opposite direction. Place the soles of the feet back down onto the earth. We're going to cross that right ankle over the top of the left knee. So we're working kind of backwards, like I said in the beginning of class. So we can stay into this reclined pigeon pose right here with the knee just folded over. Or we can take a hold of the back of the left thigh and draw the shape in towards the body. You can rock side to side here. I'm just saying good afternoon or morning, whatever time it is for you, into that hip. Almost said morning. And if it feels okay, go ahead and extend that left leg long towards the ceiling and start to rotate the ankle in one direction and then the other. And point and flex the feet a few times. And then bend that knee once again if you have that leg extended. Placing that elbow into the inside of the thigh, so it's pressing right against that thigh. We're going to draw the shape in towards the body. And then release a little bit. So inhale, we ready ourselves. And on the exhale, draw it in a little bit closer. Release slightly. And then bring it back in. Release a little bit. And once again, pulse it in towards the body. Careful not to tighten in the neck or the shoulders. And then slowly release the hands from behind the thigh. Keep the leg crossed here. Bringing that left foot down. We're just going to take the foot, so that crossed foot, over towards that left side. So we're finding a figure 4 twist here. So take the arms out into a T or a Y and take a peek over that right shoulder. Getting into the IT band and the hip a little bit more here. Bring the head back around and bring the knees back up. Uncross the ankle, and then we'll do that on the opposite side. So now crossing that left ankle over the top of that right knee. And again, just stay here if this is enough of an opening. Or we take our hands, interlace them behind the back of that right leg. Just stay here for one moment, flexing into that foot so that we can make that nice and strong. Bring that good stretch into that left hip flexor. You can straighten the right leg up towards the ceiling. And then just rotate the ankle in one direction. And the opposite direction. And point and flex the feet a few times. Bend the knee once more. And let's use that breath to kind of get into this a little bit. I like to use my elbow to press open that thigh and press open that knee. So that same elbow, same knee presses in. And on the inhale, I ready myself. And on the exhale, draw this closer to the body. Inhale, release a little bit. Exhale, bring it in towards the chest. Press away. One more time, draw it in, hold here for a moment, flex both feet. Make sure that we're not tightening those shoulders. And then release the clasp of the hand from behind the leg and allow the foot to come down. Keep the cross of the ankle, and then we're going to slowly shift over towards that right side, allowing the left foot to come down onto the earth. So coming into this nice twist here, open up the arms to whatever is comfortable and peek now over that left shoulder. Nice deep belly breaths. Bring that head back to neutral. Release the arms down. Use the core muscles to come back up with the leg. Release the top of that foot down. Center the hips. Walk the feet as wide as the yoga mat. And windshield wiper side to side a few times. Looks like I'm getting ready to have a storm outside my window right now. That's always a great way to cool down the evening. All right, bring those legs back together. We're going to shift over to the hip and slowly come on over, completely rolling over so that we're coming into our tabletop position. So in our tabletop position, we're going to find those same pelvic tilts that we had when we were on our back side. First, setting ourselves up with our hands underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. Just start to shift that pelvis back and forth. It's not a very big move, but you should be able to feel this for sure in the spine, in that lower half where we hold a lot of tension, especially if we've been seated for most of the day. And then come back into that neutral tabletop position. I'm going to draw that right knee out to the side, still in that tabletop position. Let's take that left hand up and above. Without landing the shoulder down, we're going to thread the needle, shift it all the way underneath, and then raise on up. Lower the hand, thread the needle underneath, and then raise and rotate the bottom. Once again, draw it all the way through. Let's hover here for just a moment. Keep reaching that hand towards that extended leg. And then slowly bring it back up And then palm comes down onto the earth. Draw that knee back into that tabletop position. Now taking that opposite foot out long, we're going to extend the opposite arm. So now that left foot is out, right arm raises up. Shift through, draw that hand through towards that extended leg, and then raise back up. A few more times. Now we're getting that nice twist in the upper part of the back, as well as that nice stretch into the leg. Keep shifting back and forth a few more times. And that next time that we thread the needle, let's just hover here for a moment. Keep extending that hand over towards that extended leg. Keep pressing firmly down into that left palm. Draw the hand back up and then release the hand down. Draw the knee in and come back into that tabletop position. Find a few cat-cows. This time making that movement much deeper, bringing that pelvis in and rounding into the back. And then shifting those hips back, dropping the belly down, getting that good stretch into the abdominals. 2 more times. Coming back into that tabletop position, let's extend that left foot behind. Keep the toe tucked underneath. Stretching the heel down towards the earth, giving that really good stretch into the calf. And so to make this a little bit more all about the calf, and also not just all about the calf, because we're going to add some strength here. Let's pick that right knee up off of the earth. Keep pressing down that heel on that left side. And if this is too intense, you can keep the knee down onto the earth. Then lower the knee down and bend that left leg and bring it back into center. Let's do that on the opposite side. So take that right foot back, tuck the toe underneath, get that stretch into the fascia of the foot. And then when you're ready, go ahead and pick up that left leg, bringing it towards the rib cage. Keep bringing that heel down. 2 more breaths here. Release both knees down and come into that tabletop position. Walk the handprints, one handprint forward. Tuck the toes back underneath. And this time we'll raise the hip points up towards the ceiling and find our downward facing dog. Since this is our first down dog, go ahead and pedal it out a few times, nodding out the head, maybe shifting the hips around a few times, doing whatever feels good to get ready in this position. Coming into some stillness here, you're bringing the heels down towards the earth, and the head is right by the biceps. Take one inhale in, and one nice exhale out, release. Bend the knees, keep the head forward, and take a walk all the way to the front of the mat. Bending the knees and allowing the body to just melt down. The belly is resting on top of the thighs. We're just taking a few breaths here, releasing the spine, letting go. Pressing into the feet very slowly. Very, very slowly start to come back up, ragdolling all the way up to standing. When we arrive in our mountain pose, our Tadasana, pull the shoulders away, press the palms open, and close the eyes down. Just feel the strength of our stability from the roots all the way up. Open up the chest. On that next inhale, we draw the hands into heart center, pressing palms together. Raise the fingertips up. And then cactus the heart open, bend forward and roll all the way down, forward fold. Hands paint up the legs, come to the top of the thighs, grasshopper elbows right by the ribcage, find a halfway lift. Tuck that chin in a little bit so you can extend that crown just a little bit more. Inhale here. Exhale, release all the way back down, forward fold. Bend into the knees, reverse that swan dive and come all the way back up to standing. Gentle the palms back in your heart center. Take a nice inhale here. And on the exhale, press back up and then melt all the way down, swan diving, forward fold. Find the halfway lift again. Melt back down, forward fold. Bend the knees, reverse the swan dive, come up to standing, and then gentle hands into heart center. Inhale, hands come up. Exhale, melt all the way back down. Place the hands onto the earth and step the feet back, downward facing dog. Shift forward into high plank. And then very, very slowly lower the body all the way down to the earth. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. Bring those elbows really close in towards the rib cage. Let's find 3 little cobras here. So press into the tops of the feet as we peel the chest up and lower down. Peel up and lower down. One more time, peeling up and then lowering down. Keep the hands exactly where they are. Tuck the toes underneath. Raise the kneecaps up off of the earth. And with a bunch of core strength, we're going to press back into that plank pose. Take a breath here, strengthening the body. And then shift the hips up towards the ceiling, downward facing dog. Right heel raises up, 3-legged dog. Draw the knee in towards the chest, round into the upper back like we did in plank. Hold here. Then extend long, 3-legged dog. Draw the knee back in, round into the back. Extend long, 3-legged dog. Draw the knee in once more, hover for a moment, then step that foot to the front of the mat. Lower the back knee down. Take a moment to get shifted and adjusted here, and then raise the arms all the way over the head. Point the thumbs towards the back, and breathe into our low lunge. Think about squeezing both thighs into midline. Keep the shoulders down and away from the ears, and those thumbs back. Release the palms down, framing the front foot. Left hand stays down on the earth while we peel the right arm up and stack the shoulders here. Release the palm to frame the foot. Tuck back toe underneath. Raise that knee up off of the earth and step it all the way to the front of the mat and knee in forward fold. Halfway lift. And melt down. Bend the knees, sweep all the way up tall mountain. Right hand comes forward, left hand comes back into a twist. Keep the hip points towards the front. Inhale, up. Exhale, twist to the opposite side. Inhale, fingertips come up. Exhale, cactus and hold here. Bring those shoulder points together. Then inhale on the up. Exhale, take that right hand down as we extend that left hand, finding those opposing directions here. Reach into those opposite directions. Release that upper hand down and find that on the opposite side. We're reaching in opposing directions here. Inhale, fingertips come up. Exhale, melt all the way back down, forward fold. Plant the hands, step the feet back, downward facing dog. Shift forward into that high plank. Find that hollow body here, rounding into the back. And then take your time to slowly lower all the way down to the earth. We're gonna find those cobras again, but this time let's float the hands. So we're gonna float the hands up off of the earth and peel that chest up. And lower back down. Raising up. Lower back down. One more time, raising up. And lower back down. Hands are right underneath the shoulders. Tuck toes underneath, really firm up the legs as we press back into that plank. Hip points raise up, downward facing dog. Right heel stays planted as that left heel raises up, three-legged dog. Knee comes in towards nose, around into the upper back, hold here, then extend long. Knee comes back in towards chest, round into the back, then extend long. One more time, knee comes in, hold for a moment, then step the foot all the way to the front of the mat. Release the back knee down. Take a moment to get stable here, and then slowly shift all the way up high, taking those thumbs towards the back, opening the chest, roll shoulders away from the ears, squeeze both legs in towards the midline. Stay tall so we're not collapsing at all into that back. We're pressing firmly into the foot so we can stay tall. Release the palms down to frame the front foot. Right hand stays down on the earth as we peel that left hand open here. Palm comes down to frame the front foot. Tuck back toe underneath, raise a knee up, step that foot forward, and we come into forward fold. Half lift, melt down. Press into feet and bend all the way up. Guess I'll bend, shoot all the way up. Left hand comes forward, right hand comes back into that twist. Inhale up. Exhale, reverse the twist to the other side. Keep those hip points towards the front. Inhale, both hands come up. Cactus the heart open here. Press the shoulders together as if you're holding a pencil between the shoulder blades. Right hand extends above high. Left hand comes down as we reach in opposite directions. Reverse, bring that opposite hand up and find that opposition in each direction here. Inhale, both hands come up. Exhale, flow all the way forward. Forward fold. Half lift. Melt down, place hands onto the earth. Step back, down dog. Shift the chest forward. Hold in our plank for just a moment, and then lower all the way down to the earth. Cobra of your choice, we're going to find 3 of them, whether the palms are down on the earth or if they're hovering. So keep pressing into the pubic bone, the top of the thighs as we raise up and lower down. Raising up, lowering down. One more time, raising up, lowering down. Place the hands onto the earth. We're going to bend back into that tabletop position. Bring the big toes to touch, knees wide, and shift all the way back into a wide-legged child's pose. Take a few moments maybe to shift a little bit around. Melting heart and head down. Pressing into the palms, bending into the elbows. Wind all the way back forward. Tuck the knees back underneath the hips. Tuck toes underneath and come back to down dog. Raise that right hip up high. Heel is up. Knee comes in towards nose, round here. Extend long again. And then round into center. One more time, up high. Then draw it all the way in, stamp the foot down. Yogi's choice for this lunge. You can either lower the knee like we did before, or you can keep it up high. We're gonna bring the hands up. If that knee is up off of the earth, you can even put a bend into it so that the shin is parallel with the earth. Either way, if you're down on the knee or raising up, bring those hands back, thumbs back. Take a nice deep inhale here. And a nice open mouth exhale, release and let it go. Shift forward, place the palms down. Left hand is on earth, right hand opens up into this twist. Release the palm down. And we're going to pivot on that back foot and come all the way up into a warrior two. So in our warrior two here, arms are out into a nice wide T. Lower that left palm, right forearm on top of that right leg and bring that left arm up above head. Extended side angle. Let's find a little bit of arm movement here. So bring that arm all the way around in 3 big circles. When you've completed that last circle, stay here for just a moment. Find that opposition of really reaching up high. And then bending into that knee a little bit more as we come up into warrior two again. Hands come to the hip line, pivot on that back toe. Step the back toe up to the front of the mat. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, release all the way back down, forward fold. Place those hands onto the earth. Step back, downward facing dog. Shift forward to that high plank and lower all the way down to the earth. 3 cobras, yogi's choice, whether the hands float or press down. Place the hands onto the earth. Come back to that tabletop position for just a transition. Bring the knees as wide as the yoga mat and shift all the way back into our child's pose. Long, deep breathing here. Press into the palms, bend into the elbows, come back up. Stack the knees back underneath the hips. Tuck the toes underneath. Hip points come up and down dog. This time left heel raises up, 3-legged dog. Knee in towards the nose, round. Extend long. Bring it in, round. Extend long. One more time, bring it in, hover by the rib cage for a moment, and then step the foot all the way up and through. Yogi's choice, whether we're gonna stay in that high lunge or low lunge. So you can either release that knee down, or you can keep it up high as you raise up. Find the stability here, embrace the wobble, sink down, and bring those hands back, thumbs back, and take a breath here. Keep pressing firmly into that front foot. Keep that spine nice and tall as we find this back bend. Now release the palms down, framing front foot. Right hand down on the earth as we peel up to that left side. Release the hand down, Start to pivot on the back foot and come into our warrior two with our left foot forward. Left elbow comes down on top of the thigh, that forearm, as we extend the right hand above the head. Find those 3 circles here. Shift the arm all the way around. 2 more times. Hold our extended side angle for just a moment. Using that forearm so we can press up nice and tall. Release the hand back and come back into that warrior two. Hands cover the hips, pivot on that back toe. Step that back foot up and meet at the front of the mat. Do a little stretch into our IT band. So walk that right foot behind the left foot, lining up the pinky toe side. Take the hands to the hips and make sure those hips are shining forward. We don't want to tweak out that back knee, so being cautious here, might need to step it back a little bit. Shift forward into a half lift. If we'd like more sensation, come all the way down into a fold. If you are folded over, bring the hands to the hips and slowly unwind back up to standing. Uncross the legs. Let's just march it out a few times. We can add the arms, swinging them side to side, releasing any tension in the back. Coming back around to center, let's cross that opposite leg. So the opposite leg, we're lining the knife edge up with a knife edge. Hands come to the hips so we can turn and make sure that they're pivoted forward. Shift the weight, those tailbone coming back, and that chest coming down. We can stay and hover right here in this half lift. Or for more sensation, bow all the way down, bringing nose down towards me. Bring the hands to the hips and slowly come all the way back up. Release the cross of the legs, march it out again, and add that little sway with the arms swinging freely side to side. Coming back around to the front of our mat. Inhale up. Exhale, melt all the way back down into that forward fold. Bend the knees and allow the belly to be heavy on top of the thighs. We're going to interlace the fingers and bring it behind the calf. So round that back, let the shoulders kind of drape down, get a little hug and squeeze here. Release the clasp of the hand and slowly ragdoll all the way back up to standing. Roll the shoulders away from the ears and inhale on the up. Exhale, melt back down, forward fold. Place the hands, step back, down dog. Shift forward, lower slowly all the way down to belly. Side our high cobra this time. So press the palms into the earth. Really press down into the pubic bones, into the top of the feet. Raise up nice and high. Tuck the toes underneath. Raise those hip bones up. Downward facing dog. Take a peek forward. Hop, skip, or jump. Come all the way up to the front of the mat. Meeting in our forward fold. And ragdoll all the way back up to standing. Hands gentle into heart center. Getting into the legs a little bit more. We're going to step that left foot back. Not all the way to a lunge. It's just about, we're going to find our pyramid pose. So we're just wanting both of those feet to be solidly on the ground. And then hands are at the hips. Take the hands and interlace them behind. So you can either interlace and hold on to them as a fist, or you can just hold on to the forearms here. Keeping that front leg straight, we'll find that same forward, halfway forward fold here. Extend the crown of the head towards the front of the back, and keep those shoulders pressing away from the earth, or away from the ears, I should say. Should feel this really good stretch into the hamstring of that front leg, and see if we can bring that back hip towards the front of the mat. We keep pressing that front hip back. Release the cross of the arms and bow forward, nose towards knee here. Hands come to the waistline and slowly wind all the way back up. Walk that back foot forward. Inhale up. And exhale, melt down forward. Just notice a moment here, the difference between that front leg or that right leg that we started with compared to that left leg. Pressing your feet, bend into knees, sweep the hands all the way up, and then gentle them into heart center. Let's do that on the opposite side. So step now, that left foot, or excuse me, right foot back, left foot is forward. So we're not super far back, like we typically go into our lunge. We want the feet to feel firm and solid on the ground, thinking of our pyramid pose here. Taking the hands, interlacing them behind, or just holding on to the forearms. Keeping that front leg straight. Start to lean forward into our half lift. Now thinking about that right hip is coming towards the front, and that left hip is pressing back. Release the clasp of the hands, allow them to come down and the nose down towards the knee. Send some breath to the back of the legs. Take the hands to the waistline and slowly wind all the way back up to standing. Step that back foot to the front of the mat. Inhale, sweep up. And exhale, just release the palms down. We want to walk the legs together, really together here. We're going to come down into a little ball here. So inhale, fingertips come up. Exhale, start to bend into the knees and slowly lower all the way down. Taking a hold of the front of the thighs and the front of the shins. Heels are up off of the earth. And then you can tuck the chin in towards the chest. Just rounding into a ball. Breathe in deep. Release the hands behind, and then allow the bottom to come down onto the earth. Extend the legs out front. Give them a little shake out here. Keeping that left leg long, let's bend the right knee and bring it to the inside of the thigh. Fingertips raise up, and then hook that left arm onto that right knee and find a twist. Make sure that we're not cranking into this twist. We're not pulling into it. Just getting that nice, gentle wringing out of the spine. Because gentle and wringing don't go together very well. But we just don't want to have a bunch of clenching or a bunch of forcing here. Unwind back around. Hands raise up, straighten those legs out long. And then release the hands down. Bending the left knee now, bringing it in towards the right thigh. Raise up once again, and then turn the torso, hooking the elbow around on that left leg with the right hand. Using that palm behind so we can press up tall here. Couple more breaths. Unwind, coming back around, release that leg long. Arms come up, and then very slowly shift all the way forward. You can hold onto feet, or if that's not accessible, allow the hands to rest by the shins, or maybe even up by the thighs. Hold into this active stretch for just a moment. And when we're ready, tuck the chin in towards the chest to create now a passive stretch. And allow the back to round here. Taking several breaths, feeling this lovely stretch into the back of the legs, the back of the body. Take your time to unwind and come back up. We're going to grab a hold of that rolled up towel or rolled up blanket. We're just going to place it right underneath, just right above the bum area right here. We come down into that bridge that we started with, but this time we're going to use that prop as a support. So bend the knees and take your time to slowly roll all the way down onto the earth. So we would like that rolled up prop to be in that sacrum area, right above the sacrum, I should say. So it's in that curvature of the spine. And if it feels too high, go ahead and take one of the rolls out. So take a few moments here to maybe shift the hips a little side to side. We'll just take a few breaths. Pulling down the practice. Go ahead and extend the legs out long, all the way down to the mat. Extend the hands above the head and stretch and reach here. Release the hands down, bend the knees again, and place the soles of the feet onto the earth. This time, we're going to keep that right leg bent, or that left leg bent, and that right leg is going to extend down towards the bottom of the mat. Same arm, so now that right arm is going to extend above the head. So you should feel this nice good stretch in side body. I always love this one because it gets into that IT band, that psoas area, and that front of the hip flexor here. We can take both the hand and the foot over towards that left side of the mat, kind of into a crescent moon shape, getting a little stretch into, actually generous stretch into side body and a little bit deeper into those joints, into that band. And if all that blanket feels uncomfortable, if you feel like there's some pinching, just remove the prop out of the way. You don't need it there. Let's bring that arm and the hand back around to center. Release the hand and bend the knee. Now we'll do that on the opposite side. So where we extend that left leg long, left arm comes above the head. We can find that optional crescent shape of bringing both the hand and the foot over towards the opposite side of the mat. Bring the hand and the foot back around to center. Walk that foot back under and release the palm down. Press into the feet and raise those hip points up to release the prop from underneath the back. And just notice here, if you have a little bit more space, I always feel like I have a little bit more space into that natural curvature of the spine. Draw the knees in towards the chest and give them another hug and squeeze here. Extend the legs up towards the ceiling. Toes are pointing towards the face. Palms can come down. If you would like, you can even bring the hands underneath the sacrum area and draw some great big circles into one direction. Keep the legs zipped together. And draw these big circles all the way around. Working into the core. And also giving that kidney area a little massage. Start to make those circles a little smaller. A little smaller. And then center the legs above the body again. Now open that circle over to the other side. Nice, great big circles. Strengthening the core, which is so important when we have lower back issues. If we strengthen that core, it really does help. Start to make the circles a little smaller. And smaller still. And then center the legs. Release the feet down. Walk the feet as wide as the yoga mat. And then the knees TP in towards each other. And release the lower back and take a couple breaths here. Bring the knees back out. Walk the legs all the way down to the bottom of the mat. Shrug the shoulders underneath just a little bit. And we're going to find our final resting pose, our Shavasana, coming full circle to where we began in our class. And just melt down, feel heavy here. Allow the feet to fall out to the side. Notice how the breath in the body feels after all the movement and stretching that we did. Begin to deepen the breath. Start to nod the head slowly from side to side. Find some gentle movement in the hands and in the feet. Rolling out wrists, wiggling out fingers and toes, rolling out ankles. Extend the hands over the head, press the toes down towards the base of the mat. Stretch and reach, 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 reach. And with a great big exhale, let it go. Bend the knees. Place the soles of the feet onto the earth. Shift onto the hip and roll on over into our fetal position. Press into the palm and raise all the way back up. We're going to come into our seated posture. Find our easy seat here. Roll shoulders away from the ears, and then draw that chin down towards the chest. Just tick-tock the chin from shoulder to shoulder a few times. And then bring the head back up to neutral. Taking the hands, we did a lot of plank poses and a lot of down dogs. I just want to give the hands a little bit of some love here. So I'm going to take the palms together and then draw that, kind of bring the palms all the way around and interlace the hands on the outside. So let me show that once more. Palms are together, and then we bring the hands all the way around so that the wrists are squared up, and then take a hold of the hands here. And then just gently bring those hands back and forth a few times. Good stretch into the wrists. And then release the clasp of those hands. And once more, we're going to draw them together, create a little basket shape here, and wave them. Make a little wave. Releasing any tension in the shoulders, in those elbows, in the wrists. Reverse the direction of our wave. A little tricky. And then shake the hands and bring them out to the side. And once again, bring them back to heart center. Sit up nice and tall here for a moment. Take an inhale in. And an exhale, sigh it all out. Let it go. Thank you so much, yogis, for joining me and sharing your practice, your energy, and your time. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Namaste.